Hello Foundation, welcome to your reading session. Today we're going to be looking at another story that explores a way to get to the moon. This week we've already had a look at the story Whatever Next, where Baby Bear has a go at getting to the moon in his box. And today's story is also exploring a way to get to the moon. So let's take a look at the features of the book cover. We've got the name of the book here, so we've got the name of the story. Can you remember what it's called? Well done, it's called a title. The title of today's story is called The Way Back Home. I wonder if that gives us any clues about what is going to happen in our story today. The way back home. We've also got the story setting here, and it's pointing to the moon. So our story today is set on the moon. I wonder what adventures will happen on the moon. And over here we've got the characters in our story. Who can you see? We've got the boy from all the other Oliver Jeffers books. So we already know this character. We've already been on lots of adventures with the boy. But who is this with him? I wonder if we'll find out as we read the story. And then we've got the author here, Oliver Jeffers, who has wrote our story today. We're going to start off by thinking out loud. So just like we always do before we read our story, we're going to share our thoughts. I'm thinking, how did the boy get to the moon? What are you thinking? Pause the video to share with the person next to you any thoughts that you might be thinking about before we've even started reading our book today. We're going to take a look at the blurb now. So it's the back of the story that tells us a little bit more information about what's going to happen in our story today. Let's have a read. Once there was a boy who found himself stuck on the moon, and he was not alone. Ooh, so the boy in our story is going to be stuck on the moon. I wonder who he will find on the moon. Now that we've had a little bit of a think about the story, I want you to use this link to listen to the story. When you are halfway through the story, I'd like you to pause the story and come back to this reading lesson, because we've got some questions for you to think about. So I would like you to think about what's happened so far in the story. If you've listened to the beginning and the middle of the story, think about what's happened so far. Can you retell the story events? Has the boy met a dinosaur on the moon? Is that true or false? Who did he meet? And what was the problem? Have you got any ideas of how the boy can fix the machine? Now I'd like you to carry on listening to the rest of the story. When you've finished listening to the story, I'd like you to come back to this reading lesson. Hello Foundation, you should have finished listening to the story now. Now we're going to think about some of the words that have appeared in the story. I've chosen a word that sounded new to me. Spluttered. Suddenly the plane spluttered. Oh no! Do you know what the word spluttered might mean? Have a look at the pictures to help you understand this word. Have you got any ideas? Let's listen to what the word spluttered might sound like. That does not sound very good. Do you know what the word spluttered might mean? Can you describe it to the person next to you? We've got some questions now to think about the story. I hope you had your good listening ears on as you listened to the story. So I'd like you to think about how the boy got stuck on the moon. Can you remember? How did the boy get stuck on the moon? Pause the video to discuss this with the person next to you. Now, I want you to think about how the Martian felt when he found the boy. Have a look at his face. What can you see? What does that tell us about how he feels? How did the characters get back home? I've got some story pictures here to help you. And then, who is on the moon with the boy? Can you remember what this character is called? I wonder if you could describe what the character looks like. Well done, it was a Martian. How would you feel if you met a Martian? Would you feel really, really excited and giddy? Or would you feel a bit shocked or frightened? Or would you feel a little bit scared and nervous around a Martian? Pause the video to share how you would feel and discuss why you would feel that way. And then to finish off our reading session, I want you to think about what you would do if you got stuck on the moon with a Martian. Use your imagination to think of lots of different ideas.